What's going on, everybody? It's Adam from Free Weights and Freedom, back with another episode of Getting Ripped with Tripp, where I attempt to show you some quick, macro-friendly meals that hopefully taste pretty good. So today I'm going with bacon cheeseburger tater tot casserole. And I found this on Stronger You Nutrition. If you guys don't follow Stronger You, I highly recommend you do. They take a macro approach and a calorie approach to diet, and do a really good job. They've made a lot of progress in the industry. So if you guys don't, like I said, I recommend Stronger You. Check them out on Facebook and on Instagram also. They do a really good job. And I saw this recipe. It looked pretty tasty. I'll have on for a few more days this week. I thought it would be something he would eat also. So let's kind of get into it. What you guys are going to need for this one. So a bag of Apparel golden tater tots. The recipe on Stronger You said 16-ounce bag. I couldn't find it. I have a 32-ounce bag, and I'll show you how to get down to that amount as we get into this. But and before you guys start getting into a bag of tater tots, it's processed. Don't worry about it. After I bought them, I surrounded them with bottles of essential oils. Drew all the toxins, all the poisons out of these tater tots, so now they're good to go. They're basically organic now. Some center cut bacon. I'm just going with some farmland. It's 30% less fat, whatever. Just find some center cut bacon that you like. A pound of ground beef. I'm using 93.7. You are going to need some sharp cheddar, finely shredded. They have on the Stronger You recipe that I'll post. They found fat free, which I couldn't find. I was at Hy-Vee yesterday. I just couldn't find it. I'll probably lodge a complaint with Hy-Vee. 3 or 4 people will more than likely get fired, because if you guys aren't familiar with Hy-Vee, if you don't live in the Midwest, they're basically like the Chick-fil-A of grocery stores. Super overpriced, but very friendly, clean stores. You never wait on a register. If you are waiting, they will literally call somebody off a vacation to make sure you check out. They did one time try to get me to use the self-checkout, and Owen was with me, and I kind of embarrassed him. So the guy comes up to, I had a few things in my basket. He's like, hey, the self-checkout's available or whatever, and I told him, hey, I don't work here. So Owen kind of laughed, but what are you guys' thoughts on that? No. I don't, until I see some grocery store manager coming up to where I work at offering to help me out at my job, I'm not doing their job for them. It's just me. It's a personal thing. So what are your thoughts? You guys use a self-checkout? Do you not? It's a matter of principle to me. All right, anyway, so cheese, some pickles for later at the end. You're going to need some tomato sauce, onion powder, ground mustard, black pepper, and so this one here, is it Worcestershire sauce or is it Worcestershire sauce? I don't know, but you're gonna need that. A baking sheet for the tater tots, and then a baking dish. We'll see if this is gonna be big enough. A baking dish for at the end, because at the end you'll top it with cheese and bake it to melt it real quick. The recipe shows an air fryer. I don't have an air fryer, but you could use that also. All right, so let's get into it. Oh, one last thing, macro wise. So mine on this, I just kind of did it, based on the ingredients that I have and not what Stronger You has. So mine will differ slightly. But for mine, this is going to be 4 servings, 379 calories per serving, 30 grams of protein, 13 grams of carbs, and 22 grams of fat. So obviously the fat will be lower. If you find fat-free cheese, that'll drop that down a little bit, but not bad for a serving. Really high in protein, 30 grams, not too heavy in carbs. Fat's a little high, so if you do track your macros, just know you're probably gonna have to cut back maybe a little somewhere with your fat grams, but this should be really good, and let's get it going. All right, so first step, we gotta bake these tater tots. Like I said, I got the Apparel golden tater tots, so this came in a 32-ounce bag. The recipe calls for a 16-ounce, so I'm just gonna do 4 servings. All I did was looked on the nutrition facts or whatever. 1 serving is 86 grams. So all I did was weigh out 4 servings on my food scale. Comes out to 344 grams. Oven preheated to 450. So you're just going to bake these on a baking sheet for about 20 to 25 minutes. You know, like I said before, if you have an air fryer, that would make it much easier. So, and you can always adjust amount based on what your goals are. You know, if you're eating at maintenance, obviously, you know, you have a certain amount of calories and macros you're looking to take in a day. If you're bulking, obviously, you're looking to add a little bit more, and if you're cutting, you're gonna be eating less calories a day. So just kind of go by what you have. If this isn't enough for you, then just kind of just adjust it based on your goals and your needs. So just gonna throw it in. Trying not to burn myself. Set the timer. We'll do about 22 minutes. I won't make you sit here and watch this cook for 22 minutes. I'll be back for the next. All right, the tater tots are done. As you can see, they came out nice golden brown. Just do a little bit of salt and pepper on them for some seasoning. And this should be big enough, which if I had $1 for every time I said that, probably have like $6.35 maybe, give or take. Just set these aside, you'll need them later. Now we're gonna go ahead and get the bacon going. So I just got a skillet. Cast iron would be perfect, obviously, but I don't have it. 4 slices of center cut. I'm just gonna throw them in a skillet. It's already going. Just gonna cook these on medium heat until they're done. Should be a few minutes. I probably should have got the pan a little hotter, but it's all right. It'll work out. Cook itself pretty well. So you're just gonna cook these until they're nice and crisp, basically how you like them. And then after that, you're gonna remove them and put the ground beef. All right, so the bacon's done. Just set it aside over there on a paper towel. Let some of that grease drain. Now you get to cook the ground beef, and it's gonna cook in all that nice bacon fat, so it should be really tasty. So just kind of be careful here. It's gonna might splash yourself. Boom. Good. So now all you're gonna do is cook the ground beef until it's no longer pink, and after that, that's when you're gonna add in all your dry seasonings and the Worcestershire sauce and the tomato sauce. All right, so the ground beef is done. It's brown. I went ahead and strained it just because of with the bacon that was in there before, and then the ground beef ended up being really greasy. So I just went ahead and strained it, wiped down the pan with a couple paper towels, got it back in the pan. So now we can add our the onion powder, the pepper, and the ground mustard to the ground beef. And then we're going to do the ½ cup of tomato sauce. Bam. And then a tablespoon of the Worcestershire sauce. However you say that. There we go. Add that. All you gotta do is let that simmer for about 2 minutes. Really low, just to get it nice and combined. Throw it on low. Clean up a little as I go. Just give that a good stir. Make sure it's combined very well. Pretty good. Sunday. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. I think we're gonna go see Toy Story 4 tonight with Owen. So if you guys have seen it, let me know what you think. It's got some pretty good reviews, so it should be pretty good. All the other ones have been pretty good. All right, so once that's combined and stirred well, we're going to add it to our baking dish with the tater tots. We're gonna throw everything plus the cheese in the oven and just let that cheese melt. Okay, so I got the ground beef in the baking dish with the tater tots and then the bacon also. I was gonna lay them flat, but I just thought it'd be easier serving wise, so I just cut it up into little pieces. The bacon, threw it on top. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that. Boom. All right, so last step is gonna be just add the cheese to the top. So the recipe calls for ½ cup, which is 56 grams. So I just used my scale, weighed out 56 grams. And all we're gonna do is sprinkle this over the top now. Try to get it fairly even. And one thing I should have told you guys, just make sure you, if you're gonna bake them, the tater tots in the oven, leave your oven on, obviously, because you're gonna have to bake bake this at the end or whatever. So it's just going to be long enough to melt the cheese, so it shouldn't be very long at all. Just throw that back in the oven. It's at 450, so it should go pretty quick, and then I'll pull it out, throw the pickles on, and I'll show you guys the finished product. All right, so it's out of the oven. The cheese is melted. I threw some dill slices on top. That's optional, obviously, if you're not down with pickles, you don't like it, but adds a little nice touch to the bacon cheeseburger. You guys can see it. It's kind of, maybe try to tilt it a little bit for you guys right there. Easy, really simple. Smells great. Things gonna be really good. Nice simple meal: bacon, cheeseburger, tater tot, casserole. I'll post the full video up on Facebook and YouTube, and I appreciate you guys. Doug Tippman out there, my YouTube fan. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and tune in next week for another episode.